Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. I'm your host, Jacinta Powell, and tonight we're discussing, is it possible to thrive if while being broke as a couple? And tonight I have with me Chainte Okoli. Hello, Chainte.
Hey.
Hi, dear.
So,
How have you been?
well, I've been fine. I think last week was it was overwhelming for me because I think there was so much work and I couldn't even join on Wednesday that I was
Oh,
meant to join. Yeah, but I think this week I'm getting the vibe. I feel like I'm taking it easy and I like that.
lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
I obviously
How are
missed you.
you?
I'm fine. I was down
Hmm.
last week. That's why I couldn't make the show, but I'm much better now,
I see
hopefully.
that. Plus, your hair is, oh my
Oh,
God.
thank
Oh my
you.
God. These your braids are, oh my God. I love them. I
Jane,
love
don't,
them.
don't, don't do this to me right now. I don't want to blush away. I don't want to
You
blush away.
should. I mean, you should.
Okay, so today's topic, is can couples thrive, even if they're broke? So I think it's more from from an angle of, okay, can couples grow? Can they be emotionally fulfilled? Can they live a meaningful life? Okay, if they are struggling with, money, if they don't have enough money, if they're not financially stable, to keep going. So before we, dive into this topic for today, I just want to add that please note that you can share your story with us via this WhatsApp line, 08190384663. To join the conversation live, you can call us on 07025007749 or 07014242420. Okay, Chente, back to you.
Yeah.
What do you think with this topic?
To be honest, when I saw the topic, I was like, hey, the Gen Z will say understanding wife or I'll be understanding girlfriend, as they will say, right? But to be honest, right, I am a big fan of planning before marriage, to be honest, right? I
Okay.
don't think that we should just rush into something when we are not prepared. And when I mean prepared, I don't just feel like it's two people that that are ripe, that feel like they can do this together, or they've been dating for so long and they just don't want to you know, be dating anymore. They wanted to make it official. I think that before you go into marriage, there should be a lot of planning. And one of the most important things should also be financial planning. It's important. It's important because I think that, right? I think that if one of all of again, if the financial planning is bad, it's going to affect a lot of things, especially the children. And that's why most of the Nigerian children are actually traumatized because they were raised in poor homes where they didn't get the basic things that they actually needed. So it's going to affect them. Now, I'm not saying that people should be well buoyant, like you should have every single thing. Do you understand? Before you say you want to, you want to commit or you want to get married. I'm not saying that you should have everything. Do you understand? But I'm saying that there is an essence or there is a need for planning, just so that you guys are well prepared for what is to come. And there is also the aspect of what if these people planned and maybe they got into the marriage and it was good, but in the marriage, things now started going,
Yeah, zigzaggy.
sideways, right? Because I think that some of the times I think we should just be realistic because life actually happens.
Yeah.
Life do happens. Do you understand? Like sometimes you can go into the marriage and then there's money everywhere, and before you know it, something just happens,
So,
and then
Chente, are you
everybody.
saying, okay, like you just mentioned, life is unpredictable, of course. So,
Mm-hmm.
are you saying that you should plan because financial stability is what would make the marriage work? Because I think you're looking at it from a point where money has to be involved. And you rightly said something can happen along the way. So what is thriving, to be honest? What do we mean by, oh, this marriage is thriving? Because if we look at marriage just from the point of thriving as just more of financial gains, don't you think there are other aspects that can make a marriage work, can make a marriage
again,
grow?
again, again, right? If
Okay.
you know, if I picked my words very, very carefully, I said that financial planning is one of the things. I did
Oh,
not say that
wonderful.
it is.
Okay.
Do you understand? I said it's one of the things, right? But also, it's also a very important thing. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And for some people, it's like a deal breaker for them. If my man is not rich, or if my wife does not come from like a rich home or a stable home, I cannot do. But it is a big deal. I'm not saying that if there is no finances, or the finances is not like, the marriage cannot work. Obviously, there are a lot of things that, that gives marriage some form of stability. But again, financial planning or finances is one of the very, very
I
strongest
agree
things,
with
to
you.
be honest.
Okay. Can we look at it from this point now? So we see that
Okay.
it's the society, where we live. People look at something much more important than financial gains. And what is that?
Mhm.
If you can you help me? What is that thing that people look at even before they look at finances? Love. Love.
Okay.
You've forgotten love.
Okay.
So people tend to
In
tilt
this our day
towards,
and age,
yes,
let me
still.
let me let me use side eye and agree
No,
with
no,
you.
no, because I swear to you, yeah, in time memorial and in the present time to today and even the future, love will always be one of the yardstick in which people actually get married. Because let's be honest, yeah, I believe that more people will gravitate towards I love this person than even financial,
I
stability.
do
Or
not agree.
oh, really? So
And do you know
So you
why
think
I
Gen
do
Z is
not
now, yeah,
agree?
it's all about
No, see, see,
no cash or
see.
nothing.
No, I do not agree. And do you know why I do not agree?
Okay.
There is this thing about, or there is this saying that men get married when they are ready. Something like that. And so some of the times you see a lot of men kind of going into marriage not because of they necessarily love this person. To be honest, right? Maybe in the marriage, love can actually grow if you are committed to making this work. But some of the times, it's not necessarily like, I love this person. Oh my God, I'm head over heels for this person. And I truly, truly want to be with this person. And again, some of the times, if you don't even use love to actually judge. And why do I say that, right? Because I think that in many senses, right, somebody, you can love somebody, but you know that this person is not truly, truly right for you. You know that you and this person do not align on a lot of things. You know that if you marry this person, there's going to be trouble, to be honest. And so
Okay.
some of the times I think is so on the flip side, I think maybe women get married because of love. But sometimes men get married sometimes when they are actually ready, not because of they necessarily love the person that they are with at that particular time.
Okay, that's nice. So you're saying that love will not work if there's no survival plan. You're saying that people are beginning to choose tilt towards the financial aspect of the relationship or the person than love. So should we agree on that? That without without the
No,
survival
hey
plan.
God, I beg you. You are see, you are putting me in a fix where you
Okay.
cage me.
No,
It's not what I'm saying,
no, but
no.
no, but I
Hey.
clearly understand. Because let's be honest, yeah. Okay, like you rightly mentioned, men obviously don't always look towards love when they're getting married, of course, and women tend to always look more towards how they feel, emotionally,
Yeah.
how that's who we are. But are you then saying that it is no longer the case where people just only, take love as the only reason why they marry? And let me come there. I
Yes.
believe, so let me not look like, I'm just, against you. I believe that love is not enough, okay, to be married to
True.
someone. However, this is not the case. A lot of people, even in relationship, the first thing that comes to anybody is not money. Let's be honest. Unless you are obviously lacking and you really want money and you're going to a relationship just because of money. So let's remove that aspect of people who lack and who just want money. as, an incentive when they are get into relationships. Let's look at it, from a clearer perspective. All right. Now, when you meet someone, the first thing normally, just say, I might be wrong. You might first of all you want to look at how is he cute, okay? Is he then before is he doing well or what does he do? Where's he from? All those things come into play. I don't think money is the first thing people look at. I think is as you keep going, as the relationship keeps going, then you start to say to yourself, can this guy give me? Can he provide financially? Will I have a stable home? What are our plans? What are survival? Because I know someone who said that marriage, when the priest announced both of you as husband and wife, it's not as a joint venture. They don't announce the both of you as a joint venture because a lot of people tend to say, he must give me, I must have this. They always put too much, yeah, he must be able to give me every certain amount of money in a month and things like that. Let's take that away for a minute, all right? And just look at it from the point of view is, how can a couple thrive? Can they thrive, when they're struggling financially? And I'll say yes, they can, because so many people have been in relationships, even the Gen Zs themselves, don't worry about what they say. They have been there, for different reasons, okay? And they have some way or the other, walked into wealth. They have walked their way up to wealth. But now, are we now saying that? Now, the problem is, how do you not give your time? How do you differentiate those who are broke and are working, all right? Those who are broke and they have a dream, they're working, and then those who are broke and they're just lazy. Now, should we look at it from that angle and say, all right, should we not follow these ones that don't have any future ambition? Or should we just, continue to push the ones that have a dream?
So if we're going to talk about this in this context, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a yes in, is it possible for us to thrive while possibly we are both broke at the moment? Yes, but I think it has to do with the vision that both of you truly have, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
Are both of you on the same page? Or are both of you lackadaisical about your career? Like you
Yeah.
are just wanting life to happen. Maybe somebody will just come and be like, Tada, you won a lottery. Do you understand? So the only reason why I would possibly be with somebody that is not financially stable is because I see a future. I see that this person is possibly committed, or this person is even doing something. Do you understand? Like, I know that being broke, because I can see into their future, I can see that this person is on their way. I can see what the person is doing. I can see the small thing that the person is setting in place. That is when I would say, okay, I know that the future is bright. And even if maybe we cannot see it now, I'm ready to work together with you till we get there. But so I just feel like it's on what are the goals. That is the only way we can say, let us see how we can work together. But
Okay.
if the other partner is like, he's just leaving it to chance and saying, okay, oh, I don't have any plans, I'm just carrying myself anywhere that the wind carry me, I'll go there. Then I don't think that both of you can try, because that relationship will end up in the gutter, to be honest. And both
Yeah.
of you will come and beg me for rice in my door, and I don't want it.
I love what you said about the planning. Both of you have to plan. You guys have a vision because it's important. You know why I say
Exactly.
that? Because you can actually date someone who's financially, put together, who's wealthy, who has all the money, but he still will not plan towards you. You people will not
Yeah.
have a vision that is aligned. Do you understand? He can be spending his
Yeah.
money outside the house and not even inside the house. So what if that's the case? Would you then say that you have to, is it about dating someone who is wealthy or vision? Because if it's vision, that means you could date someone who's broke.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
So
agree.
I'm not saying that you should not, a relationship cannot thrive um, when you're broke. Because we know that divorce is one of the highest reasons why people being broke, sorry, is one of the reasons why people get divorced. We know that
Yeah.
being financially unstable is one of the reasons why people walk away from relationships and marriages. Yes, we obviously know that, but are we saying that if there's no money in the marriage or in the relationship cannot thrive? Okay, let's look at it from this angle. What about emotional wealth? What about psychological
What?
wealth? What about mental
Yes,
wealth?
to
Are
be
those not
honest,
areas where you can also say that those are riches, those are wealth? Why must we
yes,
look
to
at it
be
from a
honest,
financial angle? Okay.
the reason why I feel this way is because when you hear things that are actually happening, okay, there was a case of I think a few months ago about this guy that took his wife to the hospital and he could not pay the bill,
Yeah.
and then I think she died in the hospital. Can
Wow.
you imagine that kind of thing? That means, see, you had 9 months. Just like, listen, you had 9 months to actually prepare for this baby. You had a whole 9 months. At least the money for surgery, at least you could have been preparing for the worst. Okay, oh, you should not give birth through the, through the normal way. At least the money for so they would
Chente,
tell
but
you
I
all of these
think
things
that
in the
life happens to
hospital.
anybody. No, see, that
No,
one,
no,
I will blame our government for that. Yes,
no,
because let me tell
Jess,
yeah, because
no.
see, at some point and in some way, they are supposed to be, see, there's supposed to be ways where you could care when there are emergencies, you could borrow from some sort
Yes,
of, the
we
government
live
is
in
supposed
this
to at
country.
least, I know, but you see,
We live in
I
Nigeria.
believe I believe that see anything can happen. You might have planned that man might have planned. Maybe someone was promising him some money or he had borrowed some money or something. But I just believe that anything can happen. The most wealthiest people who are very rich, are very broke today. They have no money. And if you marry that man simply because of his money, then what are you going to do when he's broke? I said to people, I said to people, if you date men or you go after men because of they drive a Range Rover or they drive a Mercedes, whatever, what of when you then have the Mercedes or the Range Rover? If that's the only reason why you follow that man or you're dating that man, everything becomes nothing. Because now that thing you're chasing after that man for while you're there, you now have it. The relationship will definitely start to crash. I'm not saying that you should not. See, listen, I love money.
Ah, for
Chente,
you to look as hot as this, obviously.
do you understand? Of course, and I'll say something. When I was much younger, I would date people for different reasons. I think as we age, okay, reasons why we date starts to change, all right? When I was much younger, I would date him because I would date him. I didn't even have to like someone. I would maybe fall in love after, but I was not too, careful with my decisions or the kind of people I want to bring into my life as I grew older. So I feel that, and what is this saying? This is showing that different stages of my life, I begin to achieve certain things. And when I achieve those things, when men, come my way, or women who have all those things, do you understand? I will then say, oh, I have it. So you have to come with something more. And women who have money or men who have money at some point, they're not looking for money. What are we going to say about those ones? What do you think they'll be looking for?
Jess, you actually said something as you grew older.
Yeah.
You obviously as you grew older, there was self-awareness. You started making money for yourself. And so you were not even going into a relationship going to look for a man that is going to spoil you because you can actually do those things for yourself. Some people do not have all of those things for themselves. And so if they now go into a relationship where the other person does not have, it's going to be a disaster. To be honest, the reason why you can comfortably say that I'm not dating for money now is because you yourself, you can take care of this. You can even be self-sufficient for yourself, and even if the person that you're going to date is broke, you can even be able to take care of things without even budging. But imagine you yourself, you've not built yourself, you don't have anything, you now go and meet somebody. How is it going to work? Because I
And
think that finances is very important
yes,
when it
it
comes to
is.
relationship.
Okay, Chain, say, what is broke? Let's be honest. When you say that, okay, you meet someone and you say this person is broke. So it means that everybody has a definition for being broke, for
Yeah.
brokenness. You see, that's another angle. Because what you might be chasing as riches for you might be poverty for someone else. Are you saying that now? Because I
I
might say,
think so.
okay,
So I think that in the context of this, we are talking about broke, which is like the normal broke that people. think
No,
about,
but that's the
which is
lie. There's nothing like no more broke.
there's
Because
normal
Chinta,
broke.
you
Like
know what I'm
this
saying
person
now?
go get
Okay.
money. You know, he take care of me. You
No, but that's the thing.
understand?
What is take care of you? That's the thing. Because every woman and every man, they have some sort of worth that they attach to themselves. And to me,
Mm-hmm.
you might tell me that, okay, Chente, you might say, okay, I need 1 million naira, or else I will not do that gig. Someone might say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're so poor. How can you demand 1 million naira, really? But to you, 1 million naira is everything. They would rather demand for 10 million or 20 or what more. Why some people would demand for 100K. Can you see now? So don't
Mm-hmm.
you think this whole being broke and thriving
I
in
know that
relationship is being
being broke
attached
is
to
actually
our
really.
sense of our sense of who we are? Didn't you think?
I agree, actually. I
Yeah,
agree. I agree. I agree. Being broke is actually relative, right?
yeah.
But here is the thing, right? If I'm attaching being broke to like a deeper sense of who I am, meaning that if I come to you and I see that you cannot meet up to that level, I tag you as broke. So let's say I'm somebody that maybe so my whole worth is 1 million naira. And so when I meet you and I see that you cannot afford that 1 million naira, you are broke to me now.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. You are actually broke.
Okay. So now let's look at this scenario. So I get married to this person, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
I see that he can offer me basic amenities, maybe shelter, a car. Maybe I see that he has a decent salary, and then I get married to him. All right. Let's say altogether all he's worth is 10 million. Maybe everything he's
Mm-hmm.
worth. All right. And I go into it because I'm looking for financial security, which you're saying is one of the reasons why couples will grow, couples will feel fulfilled, couples will be happy. All right. Okay, I'm not saying that's what you're saying categorically. I'm just saying it because this is what society is saying. They're saying,
Yeah.
"Oh, I cannot marry a man who doesn't have money." Then what is money? What is being broke? Okay, let's go back to the scenario. Now I'm married to this man. He's 10 million. He has 10 million naira. That's what he's worth. Everything, and then maybe I'm worth like 100,000 naira all my life. And then I get married to him for this reason because I don't want to. I want to have a stable life. You know what I mean? All those things that we say. Then I get married to him. Two scenarios. One, I make more money than he is. Maybe now I'm worth 100 million now, right? Or this man, from his 10 million, he's worth nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you then think is the way forward? Like, would that marriage thrive? Because people are forgetting to understand that if you go in most basically, and more importantly, because of your safety,
Mm-hmm.
that can be taken away. What are you going to do when that's taken away? When, first of all, you're now richer than he is. So you're looking at him like, if that's the only reason you married him, or he has nothing, do you think the marriage would keep going? Would you think it would blossom?
So again, I think that right. Hmm. So I think that
Gente, what I think is, yeah,
okay.
going into a marriage, yeah, and you're just fixated only about what I'm going to gain, it won't work. I think that we,
True.
the younger generation, to look at it, look at it, just try and look at marriage as something that it's not a joke, unless you want to, maybe it's nothing to you. But if you really want to be married and stay married, that should be the least thing. Of course, you need to know if the man has a good job, if he has a vision. But you see, all those things could be taken away. Life
Yes,
happens. But it's
I
good that
totally
yeah, it's good
understand.
that you look at those things. It's great to look at those things. But that person that was on top yesterday, today,
Mm-hmm.
can be down tomorrow. And that person that was down yesterday can be on top. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to decide for you, but I'm trying to say that there should be other things that should even be more than just money.
True. Right? True. Remember, I'll keep going back to the first thing that I said. I said that financial stability is one of the things. There is emotional connection, there is love, there is all of this, there is safety, there is security. There are all of these things that make marriage work. But
Yeah.
I'm saying that some of the times, right? Because the truth about that safety security is that imagine you do not have the money to pay for house rent. You are no more safe again. So some of the time, yes, you're not more safe. You are gonna be in the streets of the
So when
Lagos.
you can't pay the house rent, you get out, pack your bags, and leave, isn't it?
No, it's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying so see, the idea of this topic is, can couples like thrive, right? But what I'm saying is that it's gonna be hard because I
Yes,
think
I
that
like that.
money is gonna be hard.
I
But
like
yes,
that.
they would be able to try. But I'm
Yes.
saying that it sometimes can be very, very difficult, and sometimes it's a turn off for people that will push people to the edge where they say they are no more doing.
Yes.
Because if I'm in a place where we can't afford basic needs, I know that you love me, I know that I love you, but I'm trying, you are trying, nothing is working. We can't
You
be able to afford basic needs. Like we can't feed our children. Nothing is actually working. I don't feel
Chase,
any sense of faith anymore.
do women really stand by a broke man? Let's look at that
Eh?
now from that angle. Do women really stand by a broke man? Do they really stand by a broke man?
I think some of them do. Some, I would say some. I would say some. In fact, I would say mostly the older generation did a lot. You see the older generation, you see that they stayed with their husband through thick and thin, to be honest. Like when it was rough. In fact, some of the women were not even going extreme as they were now the one hustling just to take care of the family, right? So I would say that the older generation, a lot of them actually did, right? But I don't know about this generation, right? It feels like once things just get a little bit uncomfortable, everybody is packing their bags and running out of the door. And it hurts me because I know
Do you
that
think
they
it's just
can do more.
financial reasons why they are walking out and they're leaving? Or the men or whoever, they are not well grounded now, mentally, physically, emotionally. Do you think it's just financial reasons why they're
No,
leaving?
you do. I,
Or they're
to
not
be honest, I don't think that it is just fine. I mean, there is the emotional connection. There is the fact that maybe he's not faithful. But I'm saying
cheating?
yes, exactly. But I'm saying that some of the times, right? Like I know that in at least 40 to 50%, it was because the man could not provide as he used to.
Yeah. There's also another thing, I also hear or I've heard, you know, for a while now that a man can love you, but if he's not financially fit, put together, he will not proceed to marry you. I
I
believe that
Shebi,
men are creatures that their ego rests upon their provision.
it
If they
was
cannot
what
prove
I literally said, like as we started. I said that men marry when they are ready, not because of
when they have money.
exact. So when they are ready, is that they are and that ready. Top of the list is not even age; it is financially. To
Yeah.
be honest, it's not even age because you see a lot of men in their 30s, their 40s, they are not yet married. And if you ask them, is that they are not going to be able to take care of their family. So at the top of their list, it is financially, is what they are
Yeah.
looking at is what they
Yeah.
are looking for. Is that am I going to be able to take care of my wife, my children? Because people are already thinking immediately I marry, children will start coming. Oh my God, am I be able to take care of them? This one is going to come. Do you understand? So I think that for a man, one of the top priority before getting married is financial capacity.
Capacity.
Am I
Yeah.
financially ready?
Okay. What about the burden on, okay, fine. Of course, that's a burden on men because, the society, expects them to
It
provide.
has attached men's
To,
worth to how well they can provide.
yes, and it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but I just feel that sometimes, it pushes them too much to the edge. But what about the men who then, you know, marry a woman who has more capacity than he is, and he now has to be in the home, and then obviously clean the wash the dishes and take care of the home while the woman, goes out there to bring in the money. Do you think the woman is fully fulfilled? Do you think the society has allowed that not to play as a healthy thing in couples? Because you see, where we are especially, we don't see it as healthy when women are providing. People always
Mm-hmm.
tend to say, oh, when the man has money, he's going to leave her, He's only there because he doesn't have. Or they'll
Mm-hmm.
feel that she's not at home. There's something missing in her home. They'll feel that, or even sometimes she feels that way. Peer pressure, of course. She feels that, if you were working and bringing in money, I wouldn't have to. We just feel that, that's not our job. Our job is to sit at home while the men go out there. So how does that dynamic, how does it play? Do you think such families, do you think in that relationship, that marriage, do you think it can thrive? Do you think most relationship or most marriages that the power dynamics, is on the woman's
So,
side, do you think they
hmm,
thrive? Yeah, I think it
so
works.
there are two scenarios that I want to give, right?
Okay.
Now, there's the first scenario of what the society is already telling the man. If you're not providing, you are deemed as weak, you are deemed as unfit, you are deemed as less of a man, right? And so a man's ego is actually bruised when
Bruised.
he is not providing. Talk less about when the woman is now the person that is the breadwinner of the family. There is that one aside. Now, the second one I want to talk about, which, to be honest, right, I have had a personal, do you understand, like a client of it, do you understand?
Encounter.
I've had a
Yeah.
personal uh, uh,
Encounter with someone.
encounter with this one is that this one was the man did not literally have any problem with being the stay-at-home husband, but
Okay.
it was the abuse that was coming from the woman
Oh, wow.
because there was something that because so I have been reading it, I've been seeing it, but I've not really heard it from the horse's mouth until this. It was like every single opportunity that she gets, she would speak down on him. I am the head of this house. Shut up. Literally. And so imagine what that does to a man. And so stories like that would not even make men think of my wife should be the provider. Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
there are
Is that
sayings,
meant to?
but there are a lot of people who say that who provides is the head of the home or the head of any organization. Whoever provides takes the seats. So why is the man
Yeah.
having problems
So
not, accepting that role?
so I think religiously, now I'm coming in a religious sense, as they say, the husband is the head of a home. Do you understand? So
There's a
religiously,
way
in
that, but
that
there's a
sense,
reason why religiously it was said that he's the head of the home. There are certain
I've
things
not been.
attached to that head, even in the religious world.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you understand the
Even
provision,
religiously,
the
psychologically,
covering,
whatever,
and everything?
there's a reason why titles are given to certain people. And most of the time, it's when there's provision. Most of
Mm-hmm.
the time, it's when there's provision. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. But most of the
True.
time, titles are given to people who have the upper hand in the society, in the home, in the workplace, in the school, wherever. So I think that if you cannot provide for your family, I'm not supporting that the wife should insult her husband and, of course, try to. I think it's from a point of pain. Don't you think so? When women start, being feisty towards their husband, I think they don't like the fact that they're actually working and bringing money home. Don't you think so?
Can you imagine now? Look at you are speaking from a place of a guy, but see the thing, when it's the man that is doing it, he treats you like it because I mean he sees it as his job per se. When it's the
Yeah.
man that is doing it, he will not. Do you understand? Like she's my wife, I need to spoil her. Why is it that the woman cannot say he's my husband? I need to spoil him. Why?
Okay. Um, you see, like I said, it's our wiring. It's how we're being wired.
Exactly.
Just like we've been wired to be
Exactly.
female, we've been wired to be male.
and
And
and so something actually happened, right? I think Dr. T was sharing something about some clients that that came, and what she said was that the husband said that he don't like immediately they entered the therapy room. He was like, my wife is the head of the family. I'm not even dragging it with her. She makes the decisions. Now, why he actually makes the money, right? So he's the person that actually works, you understand? But she was like, she's the head of the family because she makes this, like she even manages the finances. Any money that I bring, as soon as the money is entering my account, she's the one seeing it. She's the one doing this one, paying school fees, saving. Like, so it will take a lot of conditioning. It will take a lot of relearning, teaching. demystifying, unlearning for us to get to that point where we can say anybody can actually be the head of the family, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow. Do you know, it's just, there's just so much to it. Because I also like us to go back to is staying with someone who is broke. Is it romantic? Because some people say, oh, they're so in love. That's why, they're together, even if they're fighting it out. Or is it reckless? We'll come back to that, okay? So let's go on a break, all right? So please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official Upgrade TV, and share this live link with everyone who needs to be a part of this conversation. You can also watch us on our TV, GoTV, GoTV channel 145, DSTV 408, and Starlines 308. So let's go on a break and be right back.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m., so engage with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I know see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Glad to have you back on Heartlines. We're still discussing, is it possible to thrive while being broke as a couple? All right? And I want to throw this out to the audience. If you can you send a message with the answer to this question? Can you stay with your partner if she becomes broke in a year? Now it would be really nice to read from you. Thank you. Okay, Chente, we're back. Are you there, Chente?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Yes. Okay, dear. Now, like I had said before we went on a break, sometimes when people are broke, when 2 couples are obviously not wealthy, and the woman, or stays in the marriage, or the man stays, it could be even a rich a woman or a lady from a rich home who marries a man who has nothing. People tend to say, oh, she's in love. People tend to attribute love to when people are with you when you have nothing, especially when it's a romantic relationship. Is that how to classify love? Do you think that because of the differentiation in the classes of the families of these people, do you think that the marriage would thrive?
Yes, I think so. Right. I think that love thrives regardless of backgrounds, regardless of circumstances, regardless of religion. Yeah, it does thrive. I must not marry into a rich family before I I actually find love. The fact that maybe I came from a wealthy home doesn't mean that I should marry into a wealthy home for me to actually find love, right? But I think that love actually thrives regardless,
But don't you think it's
regardless.
somewhat deceptive when people tend to attribute love to when a rich, man marries a poor woman, or a prince marries a commoner, or a queen marries a slave? Why do we always tend to think that is pure love? I think it's quite deceptive, because I believe that actions are not always based on what it is at the time. That person
Yeah,
could be running away from the family. That person could
yeah,
not, maybe wants a life of their own, and the only reason why they're marrying is because they just want something different.
yeah.
So I
But
believe,
to be honest, I feel like it's too much of Nigerian movies. To be honest, I feel like it's too much of Nigeria. Nigerian movies are so conditional and it has entered so bad. Do you understand? Like it has entered so bad. Like Yul Edochie Prince will now see the maiden, the palace maiden, and now fall in love with her. I see
oh my
Nigerian
God.
movies with us. To be honest, it has finished us. So people just think that that
Yeah.
is how it should be. And the truth is that that is why some Mumu people are still where they are, thinking that one prince will just walk into their village and be like, and they'll be buying something and he will now see them and be like, oh my God, you are the apple of my eye. Wake up, please.
Oh,
Go and
Gente, stop.
hustle.
Oh my goodness, stop. Oh my God. Okay. Let me cut that off. Oh my
To be
God.
honest,
Okay.
like,
So you think it's all lies and just, fairy tales and all of
yeah,
that?
actually, it is. It is. It is. Wake up from your slumber. There is no savior that will save you. Go and hustle. Literally, go and hustle.
Yeah.
Be the person that you actually want to marry. You want to marry a rich person.
Fantastic. I
Be
love
the
that.
rich person.
I love
Do you
that.
understand? Like, build yourself.
Yeah. Do your best.
Do
Do
your
what you
best.
can.
Exactly.
Just
If it
try.
meets you, there, fine. If it doesn't meet you, you be the
But okay, let's
generation
look at
changer.
social media. We know that
Yeah.
social media is not helping married couples. Social media is not helping relationships, because there's social media love and there's real love, like real life love. I think it puts a lot of strain on married couples, especially, couples of today, where a lot of people tend to want to say, oh, my husband loves me so much, or when they try to, act as though they have so much when they have little. And don't you think all of those things, all of those, false lifestyle and trying to be something that you're not, when both of you know that when you come back home, maybe you guys are even drinking Gary the next night. Don't you think that takes the relationship into, like, some sort of a deep, like, it doesn't
True.
help the marriage if you guys are
True.
doing what is wrong just to keep
True.
up.
And that is why I tell people, right? Believe what you want to believe at your own detriment. People will not come and put their struggles online.
Yeah.
People would never do that.
Yeah.
People would never put their where they are drinking. Rather, they want to show you their bands, they want to show you all of those things. And you yourself, stop believing things. People just put themselves under unnecessary pressure. You are seeing a married couple, they are driving Benz and all of this. You don't know what it took them to get here. You're seeing somebody that's like 60, 70-year old in their marriage, and all of a sudden things have started working out for them. You that is possibly 2 or 3 years into your marriage, you guys are still struggling. You want to start having those things. Do you know the work that they actually put inside? They're not going to show you their process. They just want to show you their results. So
Yeah.
believe what you want at your own detriment, to be honest.
Yeah.
Stop believing everything that you see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I totally agree. You have to take social media and what is out there with a pinch of salt. You cannot,
exactly.
because you see a lot of women, and I think it's very terrible, where they see, something on social media. Maybe a husband gifted his wife something. We don't even know if they haven't paid in full. We don't know if it's borrowed. You don't
Or
even know
whether
if
it's
it's
even or they're
endorsements.
trying to do a influencer work for another person, you don't know.
And then before you know it, the women will go and start lashing out at the husband. Look, since I married you, you haven't given me any gift. You useless man. But I don't understand how women can be that. I don't know how they can be that vicious, though. But I think that we should, try to tame it down. Take it easy. Don't believe everything that you see on social media, it will not help your marriage in any way. You have to be contented with what you have. You got into the marriage not because of of how other people live. I think this other people, looking at other people, I think do you know, I really think that people tend to say that financial reasons are the reasons why people leave their husbands. I think yeah, it is, but I think social media is allowing that. It's also because
Pressure.
it's pressuring people to do that because you'll obviously now see how broke your husband is. Because what you thought was rich before is no longer rich or wealthy now. Because now somebody else is doing 10 times or even 20 times, 100 times even more than your husband. So now your mind is obviously broadening. You're now seeing life and then you want it. You haven't worked for it. You haven't even, educated yourself enough. You have no knowledge for such. And all of a sudden, you want it. Okay, Chinta, let's spice it up a little bit by saying, don't you think, like you mentioned, financial reasons, financial stability is one of the reasons why people should marry. But don't you think communication is also very important when it comes to a marriage, being able to withstand, financial struggles? Because I will say that most men have a problem telling their wives that they don't have money.
Yeah.
Yes, most men they can't do that. They don't communicate with their wives.
So
They don't tell them, darling, excuse me there. They don't tell them, darling, I think we need to start cutting down because I think in the next 4, 5 months or a year, we might struggle a bit. I think communication it's one of the reasons why you see that then problems start happening, all the fights and quarrels, because he didn't communicate it properly. And obviously, even if he did communicate it properly, the woman did not take it well. She didn't receive it well.
Exactly what I want to say, right? I think that now there is the idea of men don't communicate some of some things that they should. They are not open about communicating their things. Sometimes I even heard that there is a study that have said that some men actually lose their jobs and it takes them over 5, 6 months for them to actually tell their partner that they lost their job. What they do is that they wake up in the morning and they go out.
Yeah, I read that somewhere too.
Exactly. Like they wake up in the morning, they dress and they go out. And it was down the line when things started becoming so tight, he could not meet up with school fees again, that he now finally opened
Opened
up.
up.
Now, do you understand now? Right? I feel like there is the idea of maybe in one way or the other you've been vulnerable to her and then she didn't take it. Do you understand? Or her reaction just give you a sense of I truly cannot be weak, in front of them, maybe because she's going to judge me, and so because of that, you are closed up. You don't want them to see you as you are weak. You don't want them to call you names. Do you understand? Because I feel like if you feel safe with somebody, if you feel like this is your person, you'll be able to communicate anything to them.
Yeah.
If you feel really safe, if you feel connected, if this person creates safe spaces for you to tell them anything, if you really feel like we are in a partnership, then you will be very comfortable to tell this person everything that is going on in your life. And so, if there is any reason why you cannot be able to open up to this person, that means there is something wrong. It's either you are not, it's either you should learn how to communicate better, or this person in the past has created like they're not giving you such a safe space for you to be vulnerable
Yeah.
to them. Yeah.
This is why we always speak to couples. We tell you that,
Yeah.
it's not when there's a problem that you come to therapy. Because if you know you have communication problems, you come to therapy, you talk about it so that when times like this happen, because like we said earlier on, you could be rich and tomorrow, you can have nothing. Then you don't know how to live. That's the thing. You can't cope with the new situation. And if you cannot cope with this new situation, it's because over time you have not gotten yourself prepared for when struggles appear. Okay, Chente, I was okay now. We mostly always speak about self-care, right? We say that self-care is very important. Self-care is something that everyone needs at every time, and do not relent on it. Make sure you give yourself, put yourself first, not being selfish, of course, but, so it doesn't lead to burnouts, frustrations, and so much more. If a woman decides to leave a broke man, all right, don't you think that's self-care?
If a woman
Decides to leave a broke man, like maybe she's in there and she decides, oh, you know what, I can't stay here anymore. I have to make my nails. I have to make my hair every week. I have to get to the sauna. I have to do this. and he can't provide it anymore. Do you think
See,
you can
I will
actually
say
say,
something. I will say something that is going to shatter this table. Self-care is personal. If somebody is doing self-care for you, that means it's not self-care.
no, what I mean is
You are
you
being
need money
sponsored.
from your husband, do you understand, to leave the
No.
baby girl the
Yeah,
soft life.
if you
If
do
she
not
says,
be
I'm
able
leaving
to,
this marriage because he cannot provide me with my
why
monthly
couldn't you provide
allowance.
it for yourself? Why? Tell me.
But
It's
don't you think that's
sponsorship now.
self-care? Don't you think that's putting herself first? Because we actually preach to people to put yourself first. So if she says he's broke,
So
that's the
when
only
it's
reason.
difficult, you run. But all of the times that you were enjoying, you stayed. But you cannot provide those things by yourself.
No, but
That
I
is what
don't. No,
self-care is.
no, I don't think you should blame a woman for putting that as a standard.
Yes. A woman speaking for a woman.
Okay, see what I would say is having less is determinant on who you are at every time in life. Being able to say, I want to marry this person for money, and that's the only reason I want to marry this person for, just understand that it is lovely, but there are consequences to such action. Because I was thinking that you do a disservice to yourself if you only marry someone for just money. You can get money. Money can always come. And I always tell people, money is one of the easiest things you can always get. I don't know about people, but I feel if you tune your mind properly towards money itself, it's an energy. It will come one way or the other. But of course, I cannot speak to those who have totally lost all hope. But I'm saying to anyone who's out there who doesn't have much and who's growing, who's every day fighting to get there, you will get there, definitely. Okay? So when you want to get a partner, and men, of course, you guys don't think that you're anything. Well, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Your ego is so wrapped around what you have. And that's why you see when a man is chasing a woman, he gives her money. All he does is money in the beginning. He doesn't, go through the essentials. It's called love bombing. It's a red flag. Now, when you have taken her to the fanciest restaurants, taken on private jets all around the world, drinking champagne, and after 4 months or 5 months, you tell her to drink Fanta, and you get angry when she doesn't want to drink Fanta, you cost it. Gente, don't you think so? Don't you think that sometimes men actually are the ones who put women on this false journey to actually think of them as what they are not? And at some point, the problems persist.
I'm not about to take the blame for men now. I'm not about
Yes.
to take that blame by myself.
No, but yes, trying to take it. But
So I'll
most of
pass.
you pass. Because let's be honest, I don't know who told them that. I don't know. Do you know?
It's society, to be
I don't
honest.
know.
Like,
There's so much I
if I'm
don't know.
gonna
Because
say,
you see, a man cannot, like men who say, I cannot marry until I have money. They believe that everything about them is all about money. Yes, you said the society. It's unfortunate though, Bob. So they come with just money. And when the women start complaining, you start getting upset. Why are you upset?
True.
You trained
We
her
need
with money.
We need to
Now
teach
you're in the
our
marriage,
young
deep in,
women
maybe 4, 5
that their
years or
worth is
6,
not tied
and
to
the money's
money.
not there, and then you start complaining. You lured her with money. You didn't show her who you were. You didn't try to take out time to understand who she is as well. You did not grow your relationship. You did not build communication, empathy, love. You know what I mean? Having genuine connection for each other. That is the only thing that can hold the marriage when you become broke or when you start to financially struggle. That's what I think, Chente.
I agree. I agree. But also, I think that all of this will start with a little bit of condition and a little bit of relearning and
Yeah.
unlearning. We need to actually start teaching our young men that their worth is not tied to money. As a
Yeah.
child, you need to put it in them that your worth is not tied to money. And we also need to put it in our young ladies that see, right, you can be everything for yourself, right? You don't need a man to take care of you, right? You can get all of the things that you want to get for yourself.
Yeah,
So
I totally
what
agree.
you are looking out for is not a man's money, and a man is not that I
A
have
woman's
money so I
beauty.
can get all the girls that I want to get.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. Chente, we'll come to the end of the show. Is there any other thing you'd love to add to these amazing words you just gave us now?
So I'm just gonna say this, right?
Yeah.
So I think that yes, you can actually thrive, right? But I think that both of you actually need to sit down and have a plan. Understand that whatever you're going through, it doesn't have to be the entirety. It's not gonna last, right?
Yeah.
But you guys need to sit down and actually plan. Yes, this might be the situation now, but are we making an active plan to actually come out of this and be better?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Chainte. And I also say foundation matters a lot. Your foundation is very important if you're going to thrive when you're having financial difficulties. So thank you all for being in the show today. Please note, you don't have to bear your burdens alone. Our free counseling services are just a message away. Send your email to counsel@vedaconsult.com. Let's help you deal and heal. See you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye, guys.